Hey out there, this is Garth with RADMAN Tool Supply. You can find us at radmantoolsupply.com. Bringing to you this video about the largest Rivnut bolt rivet tool that we sell. It's the H9-7, and it has a few more features than our HF157. Grab a measuring tape real quick. This tool from end to end is right about 22.5 inches. The thing this is my favorite of the three tools we have, but you know, I guess it all depends on what it is that you're trying to do and what kind of capacities you need. It's also the most expensive one too because of the features that it has. I'll start out by explaining the Rivnut sizes. All of our kits come with SAE sizes in them. As far as for Rivnuts and rib bolts, it seems like there for the longest time all you could get was metric, and so I was determined to have SAE made by my manufacturer, and they were gracious enough to oblige me with that, and so we were able to get that done. This kit it also comes, you can buy these parts separately, but it also comes in a kit or an option available to where it comes with the metric mandrel set. The metric mandrel set has the ability of being able to do 4mm, 5mm, 6mm, 8mm, and 10mm Rivnuts, and it also has the ability to do 4mm, 5mm, 6mm, and 8mm rib bolts. It also has the ability to do 5 different rivet sizes. I think it'll go up to 1/4 inch. It's pretty good sized. We've used these, we use these tools most often with zinc coated steel. Keeps away from rust. Steel is a lot stronger than aluminum. You don't have the dissimilar metals. You don't have the chance, well, I guess you have a chance of anything, but it's not as likely to put too much pressure on it, pull the threads out, or over tighten a bolt into that aluminum Rivnut and you know, strip the threads out or something like that. We did have a client one time that wanted stainless Rivnuts in one of the projects we were building for him, and so we got them, and we have a pneumatic tool that we use on most of our manufacturing, but we ended up using our bigger guys as far as the hand tools to install those stainless Rivnuts. But bear in mind, stainless is quite heavy and hard to move as far as to get the material to bend and move. So if I was to do stainless with it, I probably wouldn't consider using the 1024 or the 8/32 or the 4mm or 5mm for it. You probably run a pretty good risk of possibly breaking a mandrel in those smaller sizes. I haven't tried setting stainless with those smaller sizes, so I don't know. We do have replacement mandrels available for them if you buy one of these tools and have one break on you. We carry a number of replacement parts, just things that we've had few problems with in the past, but we've had very little issues. So I'm going to kind of, oh, I ought to tell you the SAE sizes. We got 8/32, 1024, 1/4 by 20, 5/16 by 18, 3/8 by 16 in the Rivnut. We've got 8/32, 1024, 1/4 by 20, and 5/16 by 18 in the rib bolts. So, and then the tool, okay, this is the rivet tool, and I'm not going to put it on and show you how to pop rivets because I'm sure all of you know how to do that. But Anyway, it's two pieces. This piece screws on to the inside the tool clockwise, as well as this piece. They have like little grooves in them in case you have to use one of the 3 wrenches provided to break it loose. This also has some grooves in the top there, you see. Usually what I do, if I'm just setting, you know, a few rib nuts, rib bolts, or rivets, I generally just screw them in hand tight. Snug them good with my fingers. Sometimes if they tighten up when I'm, you know, when I get done, then I'll have to use maybe a wrench to pop it loose a little or something. But if you got a lot of rivets or rib nuts or rib bolts to set, then it's a good idea to maybe snug them a little bit with the wrenches when you put them in, just so you don't have them loosening up on you and maybe causing damage to the threads. So anyway, that's got a little spot for it right there. This is the tool. One of the things that I like most about it, other than its size, is its versatility. This head will rotate up to 360 degrees. So what you can do is, depending on, you know, where you're trying to install this, it enables you to maybe get into a little tighter places with it that you normally wouldn't be able to get just a straight on tool into. That's why I like this one. It's been one of our most popular ones, and I really like it. So I'm going to show you how to set a rib nut here and install the cones. Let me see if I can get this tool positioned good so you can see everything. So what you want to do first, we're going to set a 1/4 inch rib nut. We have these as well on our website, and they are nice zinc coated. They've got a ribbed body on them so that when you squeeze that down, it bites into the material that you're setting it in. This is the rib bolt. I'll be showing you how to install that in a minute. It's the same thing, zinc coated steel, and they got a real nice finish to them. So we're going to set the 1/4 so we'll grab the 1/4 mandrel and nose piece. And maybe I'm just going to turn this like this. That might be good so you can kind of see it there. So anyway, you take the end that's got this little flange on it and you put it in. And what you want to do is you want to get it started into the hole there good, and you're going to thread that in counterclockwise. Okay? And you'll kind of see why in a minute. I like to make sure that I've got, you know, 3 or 4 turns on it and that it feels like it's started straight. And I just kind of snug it with my fingers. They do have some flat sides on the sides of the mandrel that you can use one of these wrenches on to just kind of snug it down just a little more if you want, or it helps if it tightens up on you when you're setting rib nuts, that you can back it out with a wrench like that. So then you take the nose piece, and I like to just run the jam nut up to the end of the nose there, and then you take it and it screws in clockwise. Okay? So I'm going to take and set it there, and then what you want to do is you want to open up your jaws a bit here, your handles, and then I like to take and just thread the rib nut onto it, and I usually thread it on so I've got, you know, 2 or 3 threads sticking out the end of it, so that you know that you've got a good bite of threads in there, and that you're not just going to pull it out of the end of the rib nut there when you go to squeeze it. So what you're going to want to do now is, I like to give myself, I'll back it off just a little bit, and then I'll take this nose cone and run it up tight against that rib nut, and then you take the jam nut and you run it down tight against the head and just snug them up like that. And then you'll take a piece of material. I've got just a piece of 1/8 inch material lit here, aluminum. Rib nuts come in all kinds of gripping ranges. The ones that we carry are pretty much anything from, say, down below 1/16 a bit up to probably about 8 or a little over 8 is what the grip range is. If you're shopping for Rivnuts, you'll see a place where it says grip range, and that's what it's talking about, is the thickness of the material that you can actually bite down and have a good seat on. So we'll take this and we'll just slide it through the hole. Once again, it's good if you can have those solid, but if you don't, it's not a huge deal. So then you want to take and you just want to apply some pressure and start squeezing it in, and you'll see the Rivnut start to mushroom. And if you look, even though I didn't have anything holding the material solid, it still pulled that Rivnut up tight into the material. The main thing about these tools is keeping them straight, everything straight and lined up, and also not applying too much pressure. Sometimes people treat them kind of like a rivet gun, where you want to pop that mandrel out of the rivet when you're setting it, and if you pop this, then it's too late. You've actually broke a mandrel. So be careful when you're applying pressure. We realize that there's kind of a learning curve there, and that it takes a little while to get the feel of it, but start out not using lots of pressure, and then just kind of increase. And if you use the tool a lot, you'll get a feel for just how much pressure you can put on there, or how much pressure it takes in order to set one of these. If you do break a mandrel, we do have replacements for them, so you don't have to worry about that. So anyway, I've got that to where it's squoze down pretty good, but I want to take it just a little farther. So I'm going to squeeze it just a little bit more. Now, bear in mind too that this is a quarter. When you get into squeezing 3/8 Rivnuts or 5/16 rib bolts, you're going to be applying some pressure. But your mandrel is quite a bit bigger, and so it'll be able to handle some pretty good pressure. And the same thing with the smaller ones, the 8/32 and 10/24. You want to use less pressure, because if you don't, then you're going to snap mandrels. So I can honestly say, in the years that we've used these tools, we have yet to snap a mandrel. We don't use the little ones too often, and maybe that's why. But just use your best judgment when you're putting pressure to them. So we've got that one set. I'm going to turn this head again. That was kind of handy. And what you'll do is you'll just turn this off of here counterclockwise. And if it's set into a solid piece of material and you can't turn it, then you have the ability of taking your pulling bar back here, and you can turn it counterclockwise, and it will actually thread that Rivnut out for you. So there we go. You've got 3 Rivnuts we set there, and they all sit in there nice and tight and looks real good. So now we're going to take and switch over to the rib bolt mandrel and nose mandrel. And what you need to do for that is you'll take your nose piece and thread it out of there. Then you take your mandrel and you thread it out of there, and like I said, you're going to thread it out clockwise. And I even still forget from time to time that I just have to think about it, but just remember that the mandrel portion of it screws in counterclockwise, so, and out clockwise. What I'm going to do is put this mandrel back in the case. And I'm going to pull the 10/24 mandrel, because that's the size rib bolt that I'm putting in. And I'm going to slide this nose cone off of here. So I got the mandrel and the nose cone. I'm going to just set the mandrel right back there. Then I'm going to take my 1024 rib bolt mandrel, and I'm going to screw that in. Once again, remember that you're turning it counterclockwise to turn it in. Once you get it threaded in there, then you'll take your nose cone and you'll thread it over top of it. So the rib bolt mandrel doesn't go clear through it like the Rivnut. It just butts up against the inside of that nose piece. So you screw that down in there. Take your jam nut, maybe open it up just a little bit. Take your jam nut and move it up some. Tighten it down just a little farther. I've hit the top of that rib bolt mandrel, so I'm going to tighten the jam nut. You take your rib bolt, screw it into the end of the rib bolt mandrel. You're going to find that it bottoms out generally. I mean, I guess it depends on how large a rib bolt you're setting. These are about 3/4 of an inch that we stock, that when they're open before they've been collapsed, and when they're collapsed they end up being about 7/8 of an inch. So it pulls them in roughly around 1/8 of an inch, or a little better, maybe 3/16. So then we've got that bottomed out in there, and so what you can do, if you'd like, if you think you're going to need a lot of squeeze, then you can take and back this nose piece out just a little bit so that it comes down and is tight against that rib bolt. Of course, you want to keep a number of threads in there so that you're not putting any undue pressure on the threads, causing chance for them to pull or strip or something like that. And then you want to take your jam nut and tighten it down so it's all ready to go. So then we're going to take and we're going to slide this piece of material over top, and you want to try and keep it straight, and then just squeeze. Now, as you can see, once again with the rib bolt type, it's starting to mushroom, and it looks pretty good, but I want to put just a little more mushroom in it, like that. And so then what you do is you just loosen it up, and if it's a long small piece like this, you can just spin it off counterclockwise. If it's set in a solid piece and you can't turn it like that, then once again you just take this rough portion of this pull bar and just twist it counterclockwise, and it'll thread that bolt right out. So these can be used for all kinds of stuff. We've found as we have started using these type of devices and hardware that we use them on a lot of stuff, and we've had really good luck with them setting tight, not stripping out, and gripping really good to the material that you're setting them in. So I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We did this video mostly for those people who buy these tools. The instructions that come with them are not that great. Sometimes they don't even come with instructions on some of the tools. So we decided, hey, let's use YouTube and make a video. And for me, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So we just wanted to give you some instructions on how to set it up, how to set the rib nuts, and maybe save you some time and hassle. So hope you've enjoyed the video, and come by our website and take a look at what we have. Once again, it's RADMANToolSupply.com. Thanks, and have a great day.